But then, what about gamification? Because now we've been defining a game in general. Well, on the surface, they say that the use of game mechanics to make learning more fun. So they agree with the sentiments that you already shared. But underneath the surface, there's an idea of engagement, autonomy, and meaning. The deeper part of the game, there's a part that engages beyond everything else. Do you know, every Sunday I use the bus and travel for 1 hour. And it's a very, very long journey. Every time, 1 hour. And depending on which game I'm playing, it's either I will just play and then say, oh my God, I have to go out of the bus, which is a feeling I like, compared to just sitting there, this game is finished, okay, let me find another one. Let me find another one. So the meaning, the result that you get in the game is very important. When I play these days, I'm playing a game, and when I'm still playing, without notice, I find myself we've already reached where I go. So to me, that shows a certain degree of engagement within the game, which is a good thing. And there's also this part called a story. Most games have a story. Most serious games have a story, and most gamification have a story. So games give experiences meaning. They provide a set of boundaries within a safe environment to explore, to think, and to try out new things. Games provide the motivation to succeed, and they reduce the sting of failure. We'll hear more about this as we continue. So, a definition that has been suggested for gamification is using game-based mechanics, aesthetics, and game thinking to encourage people, to motivate action, and promote learning, and lastly solve some problems. And again, words that are important to note here are game-based mechanics. Aesthetics, we'll discuss about them. Game thinking, engagement, motivation, action, and solving some problems. So let's look at each of these. Game-based thinking. So it's using the concept in the definition of a game described previously to create a type of experience that people want to invest their time, their brain share, and energy towards doing. So that's what game-based talks to. And then mechanics. The mechanics of playing a game include the levels, the badges, the progress bars, the point systems, the scores, and the time constraints. Mechanics alone, though, are insufficient in making a successful gamification experience. Points, badges, rewards, leaderboards alone are insufficient. So you cannot just say because you go upstairs, you'll get 10 points, then that's all about the game. It's insufficient. There has to be a deeper meaning towards everything. And then aesthetics describe the user interface of the game, how the game looks, how the game feels. Sometimes we judge things by just looking. So you just look once and I'll play this game or not, depending on how it feels. And as you play, during the first few minutes of player, you look at how the game feels. How do you think the design is? What do you feel about the game? So aesthetics describe the feeling of the game, the user interface part, how it looks. how the visuals are carried out, or how the story is told with the visuals and also the music sometimes. Game thinking is the idea of thinking about an everyday experience, like for example jogging or running, and converting it into an activity that has elements of competition, cooperation sometimes, exploration, or storytelling, you know. It is how a runner can run 10 kilometers escaping zombies because of the story that they are being told. They find themselves, wow, I've just ran 1 kilometer, 2 kilometers without thinking about it. Because what makes most of the activities that we do a little bit harder to do is that you are there every second, every minute. You realize, I am running. Oh my God, I'm running. So heavy. But if you do that activity and get engaged in a certain story, and then the dynamics change a little bit. It is the link between in-game decisions and real-life decisions. So the place to start in gamification is probably not to think about the technology you will use in the game. The good place to start is to think about the behavior you want to change. And then you can think about the game elements or components of a game that you want to use to achieve that behavior change. Also, engagement or engage is another big component of serious games or gamification. And an explicit goal of gamification is to gain a person's attention. Right, to gain a person's attention, and of course to involve him or her in the process you have created. Engagement of a person is the primary purpose or focus of gamification. You will see two distinct serious games that try to achieve this in this class, and you'll get to observe how they do it, what makes people actually play the game and forget about everything else and just focus on playing the game. At that time, achieving health outcomes. Engagement of a person is the main focus of gamification. And then also they motivate action. Motivation is the process that energizes and gives direction and purpose to behavior and actions. To achieve motivation, the challenge should not be too hard or not be too easy. You need to understand your audience very well. That is why in the course curriculum, I really recommend Masako Sensei's class, because she talks a lot about understanding your target audience. And then the application of socioepidemiology is maybe critical in this regard.